I love it. First and foremost, as someone who loves going to sporting events, I really do.
We can't go for free anymore.
Free?
Oh, we can't get paid.
You're spending $400 and $500 a ticket for round after round after round.
Well,
your wife must love you.
Oh, she doesn't know. She has no idea. She doesn't know how much they are.
It had to be something.
We have a nice don't ask, don't tell policy. I'm going to the game tonight. Okay. I'm waiting for, how much are these tickets, by the way?
You're still doing the separate checking accounts?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. I'm paying, look, this is on my credit card, so I'll be paying the bills or whatever.
I understand.
I haven't been in the playoffs in 5 years. Yeah, buy my wife something nice for Mother's Day. Maybe get her like a nice summer present or keep her happy, and it doesn't matter.
Got to do something, because every home game I see posts from Sal Licata and his nephew at Madison Square Garden. I'm waiting for the trip to Tampa. Is that where you're going for Game 6?
No, truth. And I'm hoping, I shouldn't say this, but I'm hoping that it's not a Game 7. I didn't want to go last night. I didn't have a good feeling after Game 4. And truth be told, Jerry, I bought these tickets 2 rounds ago. Hoping.
Did you buy Stanley Cup Finals tickets?
No, because I couldn't. I was getting in on the pre-sale. No, wow.
Jesus.
Well, I would have if I got in on the pre-sale on time. So,
okay.
So that's how I got these tickets face value for the first 3 rounds. I happened to get lucky, get in on the pre-sale, and even though they're expensive, they were at least face value. Stanley Cup tickets I couldn't get in. Secondary market, they're $2,000 to get in. So no,
$2,000.
Yeah, maybe $1,500, and that's before the fees. It is ridiculous, but anyway,
holy smokes.
Yeah, it's cost me a lot. So as each round goes, I'm exhausted. I'm
sure.
exhausted from watching. I'm exhausted from going. My bank account is exhausted. Yeah, I mean this has been, and they're friggin' losing on top of it.
Game 3, 2-0.
That's the problem.
I mean, that's the turning point right now. Clearly.
I thought they would win Game 4 even after that. I still didn't think they played that poorly in Game 3.
They haven't played poorly.
Well, Game 4, they didn't look good. And then last night was just bad luck.
But I don't think they've played badly. Like last night, for instance, you're watching this game, and I said to my wife, because my son had a baseball game, so I missed the first period, came home. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna see if we get up so early. I'm going to try and stay awake. And I did. And I hung through at about the 10-minute mark when they went to commercial break. But I think it was 8:58 to go in the game when they went to commercial break, if I remember correctly. And my wife came up, and I said, I'm like, this game's going to triple overtime. You just had this sense with the saves that both goalies were making that no one was going to score. And when Strome, ironically enough, on SNY right now is the play I was just about to mention, when Strome doesn't connect and he's got the open net right in front of him, you're thinking, yeah, this game's going to midnight. And then for them to score the way they and what Sergej, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
But now it comes back to what fans always preach and scream about. Shoot the damn puck, because you never know what happens.
That is one thing last night that I thought was reminiscent of earlier stages in the postseason where they were getting too fancy with the passes. Shoot the damn puck! And too many times, and I heard Tilo talk about Hedl. I know everybody wants to love Philip Hedl. Can you finish, please? Chris Kreider has been MIA. He's the guy that normally you want in that spot around the net, but he wasn't there in that position. Hedl had opportunities. Strome had opportunities. The onslaughts that normally result in a goal or a penalty were resulting in neither. That was the other thing, too. The refs bothered me, particularly on the one play
the holding
by Ruda. You had a headlock on him.
I agree.
Hulk Hogan had a headlock, and nothing was called. That changes. I'm not blaming the refs for the laws, but that changes that changes the game with their power play. That changes the entire game.
Yeah, there's a part of hockey, and I remember being a kid, when you would go to the third period watching hockey, they would let everything go, especially in the playoffs. And I even glanced at last night, you know what? I like that they let us play, but you can't maul a guy right in front. And this is another thing, and I haven't been on this whole ESPN's coverage things. Whatever, it is what it is. They're showing you the game. However, last night was an example where they come back from break and the announcers was is that Showman? Is that who it is? Whoever
I guess so, yeah.
Right, you were at the game.
Yeah.
They come back from the break and they're like, well, the Garden crowd not very happy tonight because they just showed the replay on the big board. And I'm like, show the replay on TV, please. Like, come on.
It is weird you say that, Jeff, because they've done that all series or all postseason long. And usually at sporting events, they don't do it, right? And then you see it at the Garden. I was thinking that last night because it was egging the crowd
brutal,
on.
yeah.
And they kept showing it and showing it and showing. Horrible. And look, Tampa had some calls go in their favor. Again, I don't want to get into complaining about the referees. However, that was a blatant freaking call. And it changes the whole game because the Rangers just needed one more power play. Odds are they were were going to score on the power play at home, they didn't get a power play goal with the one opportunity they had, then that changes everything. And then, the puck clock, whatever you want to call it, you said
that's exactly right.
They didn't play that poorly.
No.
They lost the game, and now they're down 3-2.
No, the effort to me was not a problem whatsoever. I just saw it. You also, was it Lindgren that had the one shot too right in front of the net on the, wasn't a wraparound, but it was on, if you're looking at the net, it was the right side of the net. He had a pretty good opportunity. They had chances in the third period.
Right.
The Strome one obviously is the big one, but you're playing a really good team. And if you don't capitalize, you're going to find yourself in a little bit of a hole. And here they are now down 3-2. Come back 3-1 down on Pittsburgh is one thing. To come back on this team, to have to beat them twice, not saying they can't do it because they were up 2-0 with the 2-0 lead. But boy, oh boy, you feel like, watching this game, you see why they've been so good. It's like line after line after line. They're throwing named players at you, and they're solid. And I don't watch enough to know,
right,
but watching as much as I have this series, man, the Rangers had a golden opportunity a week ago.
The thing that, because they were dead. Tampa was toast in Game 3. I don't care how good they are, how many cups they've won in a row. You're not coming back down 0-3 with 2 games at least in Madison Square Garden.
Next to impossible.
It's not happening.
Right.
Nobody comes back from that, so it's not happening. Even 3-1 coming to the Garden for Game 5, it would have been a different feel. So the opportunity they had, the Rangers did in Game 3, let that get away. All right, you know what? Go Game 4, get one. It changes everything. Up 3-1, knowing that you have Game 5 and Game 7 at worst at the Garden. They're not beating you twice. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. And now I don't think the Rangers are winning Game 6. I don't even want to get into that because then it ruins it from a fan's perspective. Like people were saying last night, oh, you going to the game? How do you feel? My honest feel was not good. I'm not feeling good after Game 4. I don't really want to go. You want to buy the ticket? So I don't feel good about it, but I don't think the Rangers are losing 2 games at home. I think they'd win a Game 7 at home. I thought they'd get beat in one of the games, whether it be Game 5 or let's say the scenario that they won Game 5, lost Game 6. I thought they might lose Game 7. I don't think they lose both, but I don't think they're getting 1 and 10. It's hard to ask Jared to come back down 3-1 against Pittsburgh, come back down 3-2 and win a Game 7 on the road in Carolina, and then again down 3-2, go get one against the 2-time Stanley Cup champions and in elimination game in Game 6.
Yeah, well, and the 2-0 deficit to Carolina, too. I mean, that's part of it. You've done it, 2 series in a row. Can you do it coming back from 3-2 down? Now, yeah, they can. But, boy, you're asking an awful lot. Now, the one thing that is cool, if you're a Ranger fan, is that I don't think Tampa is a daunting building to play in.
Right.
That having been said, the Garden to me is one of those tough places to play, and you give Tampa credit for coming away with the win last night. But you do feel like when you go down there, you're going to have a lot of support. You're going to see a lot of Ranger blue, and there will be it's just, I don't know. To me, them going to Tampa and winning is not nearly out of the question like it might be in some other scenarios in some other series.
Well, isn't it weird? And I was saying this yesterday on the overnight when I was doing the show. It felt like after Game 4, even tied at 2-2, coming home to the Garden for Game 5 and knowing you have home ice advantage for Game 7, it felt like Tampa was winning the series. Now, I don't know why that is.
Because they dodged a bullet.
But still, it was 2-2. And it was maybe because we're looking at Tampa on a higher level than the Rangers. But in reality, the Rangers were better than them in the regular season. I don't care about the injuries and all that stuff. The Rangers earned the right to have home ice. The Rangers have done some good things in this postseason. Jared, they're down 3-2. The Rangers have been down, forget about even this postseason. Like, it's happened in sports before, a team that was down 3-2. Rangers themselves did it in 94. You go on the road, you win a Game 6. Like, that can happen. They've been playing even games. So they lost in Game 3 in the final second or the final minute. Yesterday again in the final couple minutes, the game-winning goal is scored. So it's not like they can't do it, but I feel it. I know a lot of other Rangers. It feels like the series is over, but in reality, it is not. You can make a very good case with Shesterkin, with their power play. They could get a win and bring it back to Game 7.
I think you're making a big mistake. Listen, most fans of their favorite teams are usually very pessimistic, and you feel glass half empty rather than glass half full, and I get it. But I think with a team like this, with a goalie like you have every reason to be optimistic. The only thing I would say, which is a little bit different than most teams you would be playing in the league in this spot, is while I think the Rangers have the advantage with the goaltending most of the time, this is a series where you don't. It's kind of dead even to me. So it's like you've got to go beat them toe-to-toe to beat them. I forget who it was. There was, we were talking about the Rangers taking chances on the power play or on odd man rushes, and if things broke down and went wrong the other way, and I don't remember who it was on the Rangers, they say, you know what? We can do that because we know who we got back there.
Right.
And that's all well and good. Maybe in a different series that's true. And while he's been really good, so's the other guy.
Yeah.
And it's a little different play in this team.
And their defense in front of him, it's infuriating to watch because it feels like there are 5 guys. Maybe it is, but it feels like everybody's in front of Vasilevsky, and the Rangers just can't get anything through. Even if and look, I know they need to shoot the puck more and stop being so precise and fancy with the passing, but everybody's yelling, shoot the puck, shoot the puck. They do shoot the puck, and it gets blocked. It doesn't get through. It gets deflected. It goes out of play. It's annoying watching that in front of him, so it's not just him, and he's been much better, obviously, since Game 1 and Game 2, and I also think look, if it gets in the fans' heads feeling like you can't score on this freaking guy, you don't think that's in the players' heads where even Panarin was saying, look, I don't know what to say. We just couldn't score. That's a problem. So Vasilevsky has been great. Also, the defense in front of him. And the fact that the momentum has built to a point where they haven't scored on him, I think that gets in their heads as well.
What was the atmosphere like? So you're there, and I know, what did you see, Daniel Murphy before the game?
Yeah.
How do you run into him?
I have no idea of all the people. Now, remember, Murphy's a guy that I've ripped for 100 years being on the whatever.
How'd that go? Oh, Daniel, I love your play.
Yeah, so I was with my buddy Paul, and I'm trying to pick out a sweatshirt because I went there. I needed a new sweatshirt. It's cold at the Garden, whatever.
What would that cost? $75?
Honestly, I didn't even look at it.
I'm getting my money bags over here.
Yeah, what's the difference? I'm in the hole
Daddy
anyway.
Warbucks.
Anyway. All right, so I'm looking to get a shirt, and I look up, and I see my buddy walking over, and it's Daniel Murphy with him. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Murphy? Just randomly, he was there, and then I introduced myself, and he didn't know who I was, but maybe after I said, like, oh, Salicata, I said, why? He's like, oh. And then I did I did make a joke. I really don't think he knew who I was, but it might have been like, oh, yeah. No, at that time, even 2015, I would rip him relentlessly. So I did say, like, oh, yeah, that was back when, you guys probably hated me, whatever the joke was. But he was really couldn't have been nicer, took pictures and all that stuff, and was just hanging out in the middle of the crowd, flew up to go to the game. And I'm thinking, all right, maybe this is a good sign. New York playoff hero. Great run in October 2015. Turns out it was not a good sign, in fact. So, all right, so you're inside the building. You walk in. Was there a nervous energy, or was the place like on fire? Right? Like I said, I missed the first period. No, it was on fire. Anthem, usually the best part of everything. The crowd getting up. It was the crowd was ready to go. There might have been after the initial wave of emotion early on, the anthem and the initial first 4 or 5 minutes, whatever. Maybe there was a little bit more of a calm, but I wouldn't say it was a nervous energy from the crowd until Tampa scored the tying goal. Okay. Then it was like, oh, crap, here we go. That was it's just one goal. I know, but that was the feel. You tell me at 2-1, with only, 2 minutes to go in the game, I get it. But when Tampa scored the first goal, because the Rangers didn't make it stick long enough, you needed to make it stick through the end of the second. Go into the third period with a 1-goal lead and feel good. And when they scored, it was just like, I think people were dejected, thinking, here we go again with this freaking team, knowing that Tampa is going to just be an impossible lot. Now, the crowd was hopeful. It was excited, frustrated because the opportunities that were missed, usually those go in, angry with the refs, as you can imagine. But the energy, the atmosphere, it was, I would say, the loudest. And like you said, I've been to a bunch so far. It was probably the loudest to date through the postseason this particular year. And you got nothing with the, you pull the goalie late and they come right down and score. And that was it. And that was everybody left, including myself. Although I've had enough of this. I didn't even see the scrum. So this is real quick before we take a break. So you go to, all right, so you worked on Wednesday night into Thursday morning, correct? Or did you not? Today? Today's Friday. Yeah, so I work. I have no idea. So you work Wednesday night into Thursday morning. What'd you work, 11 p.m. to 5? Wednesday night into Thursday morning. I did. Or were you just 2 to 5? I had the SNY show. Then I did 2 to 5. Okay. Thursday morning. Back into the city. So you go home. You sleep it all? Yeah. I 3 hours? 6 or whatever to noon. Okay. So then generally my sleeping time. So this is Thursday. Actually, it might have been even 11. I had to do something else. I had to tape a podcast with my buddy. So anyway, Jimmy Traina? Yeah. So we did. Yeah. He wanted to get into the Durant tweets. Tremendous, by the way. We'll do that later. All right. So you go into the Garden what time? Well, I did SNY, done at 6:30. Garden right afterward. Take the subway up. So I got there around 6:50-ish. Game ends 10:30. Is that what time it ended? Yeah, about that. 10. Yeah, oh, right, because we took 10:40 actually. Yeah, so now it takes 15 minutes to get out in the masses of people. All right, so hold on. So it's 10:40. Right. You're in Midtown with 18,000 people leaving at the same time. Correct.
You've got to hop on a train at 11 p.m.
It was brutal.
You live by Stony Brook, for Christ's sake.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous where you live.
At best,
on the train.
Yeah.
You get your nephew home.
Right.
Your head hits the pillow at what time?
Great question, Jared. So we took the 11:10 train home. I don't think I got in the house until, I want to say 1 o'clock, because I remember thinking like, okay, I got to clean like 3 hours and 30 minutes.
So you could have called Eddie, who was already awake for the morning, eating his Cheerios.
Yeah, and it had the game gone to overtime, which is part of the reason why I was like, all right, at least, I don't want them to lose, but at least if you're going to lose, let's just get the hell out of here.
Right.
And I feel like that's what everybody felt.
Don't lose at midnight and triple overtime.
Do not go to overtime. I can't do it anymore. I can't take it overtime. The stress, I got work in a few hours, is ridiculous. I'm off the overnight. I'm getting less sleep than I would have if I were on the overnight. Yes, 1 o'clock, because I remember thinking if I had my normal show at 2, I wouldn't have been able to sleep. Like, you normally take a little nap or something before to keep fresh and then go to bed afterward. So I slept until 4:30-ish, woke up and got ready.
And here we are. And I would like to thank the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey for screwing everybody that drives into New York between the hours of 4 and 5 o'clock, because essentially we need jetpacks now to get into this. What happened? The Staten Island Expressway closed off to the little detour. Holland Tunnel, they're putting a new bath fitter up the length of the Holland Tunnel, so that's closed. And then the Lincoln Tunnel, they decided to close the Helix, because as if the other 2 ways to go aren't tough enough, let's close the Lincoln Tunnel entrance and make you go through Hoboken with all the, oh my God, the 18 wheel. It's just a joke.
As if life isn't difficult enough.
Lord.
Why are they making it difficult on us? It is
terrible.
impossible. The gas prices, you think people be off the road. They're not. More people are on the road. The trains are impossible to take at different hours. Not safe. It's dangerous. It's expensive as it is anyway. Potholes everywhere. Traffic congestion everywhere. It's impossible. At least give us the work week. Can we do 4-3, Jer? Make the work.
I would love to do 4 and 3.
They're testing it out, I think, in the UK.
Yeah, well, I don't know about radio. I don't know if it works that way.
Oh.
But that sounds lovely to me. All right, let's take a break. We're starting to run a little late here. We're just getting started. 6:18 on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.